after his 17th time of saying, "Are you sure?" he went ahead and lit up. And after like 5 minutes, I'm like, "Oh crap, let's go outside. This isn't good."
I came home from work the next 3 days. And it smelled like stale cigars.
Hello, and welcome everyone to episode 137 of The Mashup, the best bourbon conversation you're going to hear all week long. We're your hosts, Stephen, Anthony, and Kenny. What's going on, Kenny?
Hello, kind sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well, and I'm excited because due to holiday scheduling, we have swapped out Stephen with Shannon. Shannon Mills, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, come on.
Hey.
Hey. There she is. So, Shannon, you have the lovely distinction of being the first female guest / host of the Mashup podcast in the history of the podcast. So, hooray! I should have played one of the sounds there, but no, honestly, you're always so generous when we come over here to record that it is very nice to be sharing microphones with you this evening.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So
all the good food she makes.
A lot of good food.
The generates, the drink.
That's what I was saying. Like
over here.
The last time that we had the big 2023 prelim rounds, there was so much great food that I went a little overboard. One day after we had tasted was a little bit crazy for me, and it wasn't just it was just I ate too much. Mm-hmm. But that happens all the time when I come here.
That's good
I
food.
like when you guys all come over. It's always a fun time.
Yeah, well, thank you for always hosting us. But so we've made it through the holidays mostly, gone through Christmas now and the New Year. Do either of you guys, I hate to spring this upon you because I know I didn't tell you about it beforehand, but do either of you guys have any New Year's resolutions this year, things that you want to do? I know it's a cheesy subject. I feel like we've done it in years past on the Mashup, and I always have some resolution that I end up being terrible about and breaking.
Yeah, I guess I need to eat less and work out more and drink more water.
Drink more water? Why?
No, I'm teasing. I drink a lot of water, dude. I drink so much water.
Yeah.
I don't believe in resolutions.
Why not?
Because I try not to lie to myself.
Okay.
And that's all it would be. Good intentions only.
Yeah, believe it or not, I don't really do the New Year's resolution thing either. Because if I just decide something, I decide it when I decide it.
Do you feel like it would give you like guilt though? Like something that you would like the cognitive dissonance of it. So it's like I say that I'm going to eat less and work out. Yeah. Everyone says they're going to eat less. I think I said 2 years ago I was going to eat less and work out. And guess what? I worked out maybe a little bit more for a couple months, and I ate less for a couple months, and I went right back to what I was doing before.
Yeah, I just don't set a date like that.
Yeah,
because I don't really care that way. I guess I'll get fed up with something and be like, it's it, it's on, it's done, it's over, boom. I get to that spot mentally.
All right. Well, if you guys aren't willing to plant flags, I will go out on a limb here and say this: there are times, and I know this is going to shock both of you, where I get a little bit high strung, and when I say high strung, I mean I worry about things that most people like. For example, I remember I was having lunch with my colleague this past semester, and I'm going on and on about this email. I'm ranting about an email. And she looks at me and goes, "What email are you talking about?" I'm like, "The email that got sent this morning." She's like, "Oh, I deleted that." And I'm like, what am I doing over here? I'm a freaking moron. I was upset about this email for 25 minutes until I got to lunch, and I'm still talking about it. And she's just like, I deleted it. It's out of my inbox and it's out of my mind. And
Let
I'm like,
it go.
Exactly, little frozen over there.
Yeah.
So,
I fixate on things too. I get it.
So if I can make a semi-resolution or something that I'm hoping to do here, it's going to be to try and not do that kind of stuff and get hung up on dumb stuff. And it doesn't just apply to work. It applies to everything, right? Don't over-direct my kids, right? Don't get upset about small stuff. So I don't know. I need to work on that a little bit. But yeah.
That's a good thing, man. It's just, life's too short.
Yeah.
And I think if you're unsuccessful at this.
What are you saying?
No, I think there comes because I'm older than you. There comes a stage in life where one day you just don't care.
You just don't care anymore?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you just look back and you're like, hey, I haven't been upset about a lot of things and I feel so much better. And it's just a stage of life.
Well, there you go. See, you didn't know this was going to be the first ever therapy session of the Mashup either. You guys offer me some good advice here, but no, I like that. But Other than resolutions, anything fun that you all got to do that you know, or things you're looking forward to?
I'm just stoked about tonight, man.
Oh, yeah.
Championship round, best of 2023.
Man, we've talked a lot about that, and I'm, again, blessed. Thank you for letting me be part of that. And what are we down to, 11 pours, 10 pours?
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about it.
Shannon, ready the food.
Yeah, we
Pizza.
we had top 10.
Right.
But one of the top 10 we had to kind of disqualify because it wasn't really a true release. Like didn't go through a distributor.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a true legit bottle. It's kind of like somebody's bought a barrel and just bottled it themselves.
It was good though.
So that was going to drop us to 9. And so let's get to 10. Well, number 10th place and 11th place were tied.
Okay.
So that's why we were doing top 11 or doing 11 in the championship round because of that.
Yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward to that myself.
I'm excited, man.
I know we've talked about this in the past, but the fact that we switched this year to the Black Glencairns, completely blind, nobody knows what's going on. It's really changed the game in a lot of ways. I mean, did you watch Fred Minnick do any of his top 100, sir?
I
Strong
do
opinion.
not like what he does and what a lot of those people do to whiskey.
Okay.
It is very, they're very paid, and it's not. It's just I'm not into that, man. Like, so like even him, like if you watched, what did he end up scoring that Maker Cellar at? Someone said it was like,
I think it was somewhere in the 80s.
In the 80s
maybe, yeah.
But if you watch his other video of him literally, I mean, like I'm going to keep it edited, for him oohing and awing, like literally like it was just the second coming of Jesus to him over this bottle and how everything was. And then for him to actually score at 80th.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I'm over any of the mainstream YouTubers, any of the mainstream TikTok guys, the podcast guys. They're just kind of full of it, man. I'm
You
just
think so?
being honest with you, they are.
Yeah.
Look at the whole Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C923 crap.
Oh man, don't get me started.
I mean, it's crap. It's literally that's the first batch of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof that's came out quote unquote recently.
Right.
That all of a sudden hit the secondary market. Instead of it, if it's a $80 retail and you could pick it up for $90 here locally, right? Secondary.
Right.
Well, now all of a sudden it's $175. It's the first batch that's really come out the gate hot and heavy. And $175 became $150. It's kind of dropped to $125. Now I think it's back. Now it's back up a little bit higher again.
Right.
But what happened was basically they got buyer's remorse is what happened.
You think so?
So they listened to these YouTubers saying it's the best freaking whiskey. The YouTubers, TikTokers, Instagram guys.
Hey, Breaking Bourbon said it was the best whiskey
Screw
too.
Baking.
You
Screw
are
breaking
very
bourbon.
passionate about
He's going
this.
Because they don't blind stuff.
Here we go.
They don't blind stuff.
There you go.
They're full of crap. So what happened is basically everybody talked about how amazing it was. So then a lot
Happy
of people,
New Year.
hey, I'm gonna start a.
This is a tangent.
Keep going.
This
keep
is
going.
I guess this is my opposite of a New Year's resolution to
There
be
you go.
positive, huh?
All right. No,
But
keep
no,
going.
so what happened was everyone overpaid for this bottle because what all these YouTubers and the website guys even said and
Right.
all that crap. So everybody overpays for it. They open the bottle and they're like, okay, this is good, but it's not much different than the last 7 or 8 ECBPs I've had that I only paid $80 for, $90 for.
Right.
So for them to try to figure out like, oh crap, man, then they happen to find, and I guarantee you, man, if you look at older ECBPs, you're going to have different lasers on them. All it is when it was run down the freaking assembly line.
Right.
It's the same batch. So what happened was now they started this A22 and A23, and there's really 2 different batches, and one tastes better than the other. And bull freaking crap, dude. Blind that stuff out. Bull crap. It's one batch. And finally, Heaven Hill, I just saw something the other day. Heaven Hill actually acknowledged, no, it's one batch that's bought on 2 different days.
Really?
So now a lot of these YouTube guys and these website guys are kind of backtracking.
Okay.
And they're like apologizing a little bit.
Right.
But basically all that happened was, they dropped the stated 12-year age statement. So this is the oldest age stated one. And everyone freaked out and overpaid for it.
Right.
And they're trying to justify themselves overpaying for it. Buyer's freaking remorse, man.
Well, here's the thing. They tricked me a little bit.
Took a breath.
Yeah.
Because we actually blinded it.
We are witnesses to this.
I mean, we blinded it.
right.
And we picked B523 over it. We picked B520 over it.
Right.
Now, to be fair, in the best of 2023 blinds, the C923 did outscore the B by a few points with 6 people blinding.
Super significant.
But it was close.
It was close, yeah.
So it's one of those things, since it's close, you want to pay $150 versus paying 80 or 90. You know, it's just, I'm very passionate about that one because it's just people not blinding and trying to justify, and then they're trying to, it's just annoying as crap.
But I do want to say this, though. It caught me off guard a little bit because when that video came out and people were talking about the different laser codes, I did have a moment where I thought to myself, we tried the C923 very early on, right? So you had this narrative floating because we tried it and it was the A22 and people were saying A23 was better, right, on the laser codes. It kind of threw me for a second. I kind of thought to myself, did we have the early batches that were worse, you know, when I thought there was some kind of batching thing? But that's again because I was listening just like I hope when people listen to us that they're like, okay, this person assumed they know what they're talking about. But after I had, you know, spoke to Kenny and a couple other people, I thought to myself, yeah, that probably is pretty much garbage that we're saying now there's two different, because they hit the bottling lines different days, that there's two different flavors for the bottles. And so I don't know. It's been kind of interesting with that controversy. So yeah.
And while we're on another one, you know what? I guess this is more of.
Here we go.
Are we on another one?
I guess this is really more of that. Was it airing of the Festivus or whatever?
Yes, or grievances or something. Yeah.
This is really, instead of the new. We should have done this previously.
I know, right?
Another thing, something you sent me the other day.
Right, that video.
The video of the guy that's talking about neck pores and does it change and scientifically and how people turn a bottle up and down.
He had a lab coat.
That's what drives me freaking nuts, man.
Authenticity.
Drives me nuts because they're full of crap. I mean, he looked like, if anybody that's newer to whiskey or even whiskey for a while looks at that, they're going to think, oh, this guy's expert, knows what he's freaking talking about.
Right. Yeah.
He talked about, when you see people shake the bottle up and down, doesn't make a difference. Bull freaking crap. All right? Bull crap. So
you had a visual on this bull
Let me explain this.
Crap.
Let me explain this to you.
So great.
I even said to you.
I don't know I upset you so much.
I was livid. I'm still livid. I'm sweating now. I'm just letting you know. So what he said could be kind of true.
Right.
If it's a chill filtered product. What we typically drink on, most of what we drink are non-chill filtered.
Okay.
So I told you he's totally full of crap.
Yeah.
Because those oils, the lipids, all that crap settles at the bottom. And I want to show you this. So you are witnessing right now. I'm going to hold this up to the light.
Okay.
This is an ECBP that's unopened.
Right. Here, I'll hold it. I'm holding it. I'm watching Kenny hold to the light.
Tell me if you can see inside of it with the light.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now watch. See the stuff at the bottom now, trickling up?
Oh, yeah, but who needs that stuff at the bottom? That's why it's at the bottom.
That's what I'm saying. So you can see this crap that's settled at the bottom. You see the oils and the flavonoids or whatever they call it, crap, all stuff settled on the bottom.
Right.
He's full of crap. There's so many people full of crap that put out freaking content. It's ridiculous.
Well, I'm glad we always have a motto. Do you know our motto on the Mashup podcast, Shannon?
Facts over opinion.
Well, facts over opinion, but if you heard it on the Mashup podcast, it has to be true. And so,
absolutely. Even
though we might be looking at some of these videos, but again, man, I didn't realize when I was sending these to you the other night that I was getting you heated like that. So,
no. Not heated at you.
No.
Not heated at you.
Yeah.
No, I know
you're not
people that are.
I'm happy I could
pretend to
you.
be freaking experts, man. It's ridiculous.
Well, I was asking if you guys had any fun over the holidays. Kenny went
this is fun to me.
Whole other direction.
We did not. None.
No.
Yeah, at least
because he was
family
mad
and stuff,
all the time.
Mad all the time.
So New Year's resolution going forward.
Right.
I won't be as angry.
Okay.
Lies.
Well, I'm still going to send you all these videos because we have the person here who would know the most whether you're going to hold true to that resolution, and she says
lies.
I'm an angry elf.
This is great. See, Kenny, I feel like I have an ally. We record with other people. So you guys usually team up on me. Now I can team up with Shannon and we can take you down.
Tonight's going to be the night.
There you go.
Boy.
No. Maybe.
So we're going to switch things up a little bit, Kenny. We actually had a new review come through on Apple Podcasts. It was a 5-star review, and it was a review from RO C923. Will you please take it away, sir?
C923. It says, I believe I started listening to this podcast around February of 2022. I love how you all catch up with each other and keep it casual before diving into the bourbon talk. The fact that y'all have started incorporating blondes is great. I believe Kenny is the blame, ?
Oh, how about that?
Yes, I am. I got back into bourbon back in 2019, 2020 because of my friends. What I've learned from this brown juice is that it not only tastes good, but you also get to meet all kinds of people and share your opinions about the juice. I think that the mashup really incorporates those ideals into their podcast. With that being said, I would for sure not pass up on the mashup and give it a try. I think y'all would buy into it and listen to their honest opinions about the juice signed RO. So RO,
yeah.
I think
There's
I know
a lot
who
of
you.
irony in this.
We know who RO is.
I didn't know about this. I didn't look at the review. I didn't know the review. Yeah, I had no idea. So it's just kind of coincidental. But I think RO, I think you know who you are, and I can't wait to sip with you, and I can't wait to blind you and make you eat your work. No, I'm just can't wait to hang out with you though. But no, C923. It's gosh dang it. What's funny though is literally though. You should see. I've watched 2 different YouTube videos now of the guys retracting what they said and eating their words on it.
Yeah,
because someone actually did talk to Heaven Hill about it.
Right.
But it's just it just ran on the freaking line a different time.
Yeah, there you go. See, Frozen's coming in.
All right.
Well, I will say this.
Thank you very much for that shout out.
Yeah, we appreciate the shout out and the review. We really enjoy the fact that. So I'll just tell our listening audience that we happen to know who this reviewer is. He's a local member of the community. It has to be
cool dude.
Rogelio, right? It has
Gotta
to be.
be.
Him.
Yeah, cool dude.
And so I've
really cool dude.
I actually got to meet him like for the first time, I think, at remember when we went last year to the Liquor Barn Pappy raffle? Mm-hmm. He was there, and I think that was right around the time he started listening, because he said February 2022. Yeah. And so I remember chatting with him, and I think that was literally either the first time I met him or the second time, because I think we may have met up one time because I won a Blanton and a Fireball. Winning a Blanton and a Fireball, the greatest day of my life.
Boom. Was it a second in?
Yeah. Meeting up with him in the parking lot. And so I think that was the first time I met him. And then, of course, told him about the podcast. And I'm just happy that he's still listening and still with us. And we can disagree. We can agree to disagree. He loves the C923. He's one of his favorite pours. And he's told us that many times. But I'm happy that he likes it. And if we disagree, then you can figure it out in the blinds. But that is some good irony.
I did not know that review was coming.
We went on that rant, and then we talked about his review. So it all fits together perfectly.
But his review is spot on. It's about just hanging out, meeting people, just laughing, sharing stories. Mm-hmm. And the cool part is definitely like you talked about your sharing your opinions on the juice.
Right.
I mean, it is. I mean, everybody's palate's different. So if I say I like something, it doesn't mean you should like it at all.
Exactly.
And if you don't like something, I might like it, and vice versa. So that's the cool part. Everybody, what they like is different. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah. I mean, if I want to drink my Pappy Van Winkle with a twist of lemon, I will do it. Just like the original, the OG did. So, That's
right.
I would rather just have the twist of lemon.
Just the twist of lemon? Oh, that's harsh. Look at you with the takedown over there. Both of you guys are taking down the whole... I didn't know that this episode was going to be take down the entire community. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No,
Pappy's good. Pappy 15, just not for the price, but it's good.
Well, we don't have Pappy for you tonight, but we do have a new bottle.
Ooh.
So the bottle we have today is the Old Elk Cigar Cut. The distillery is the Old Elk Distillery in Fort Collins, Colorado. The bottle date is 2023. The ABV is 100. No, one. I can't even speak today. The ABV is 55.85. The proof is 111.7. The mash bill is actually really interesting. So I mentioned this is the Old Elk Cigar Cut Island Blend. And so it's actually 3 different bourbons that are finished. And so they have the regular bourbon is a 51% corn, 34% malted barley, and 15% rye mash bill. Then they have a wheated mash bill, which I think is maybe a 95.5 wheat. We're not sure.
Well, they have a wheated bourbon.
They have a wheated
that's
bourbon.
45%.
And then they have
a wheat whiskey that's
okay.
95, but this does not stay whether it's the wheated whiskey or bourbon.
So a wheated and a rye. They have a rye in there as well. These are all roughly 6-year-old whiskeys. And then they're finished for a minimum of an additional 2 years in various casks. So are you guys ready for this? Shannon, are you ready? So this is finished in sherry and port. Sherry for 2 years and port for 6 to 10 months. The rye is finished in rum barrels for 8 months. And the wheat is finished in sauternes barrels for 6 months. And then it's all blended together in this wonderful bottle for us to taste tonight. So there's so much dang stuff going on here. I don't even know where to begin. But the MSRP on this guy is $129.99. even though most places look to sell it between $130 and $140. And how did you get this bottle, sir?
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. Glad you did. Our boy Hector, another guy in the local community.
There you go.
Shout out Hector. He does have, him and his brothers have a Brooklyn Brothers. It's a restaurant in Corbin or London area.
Okay.
So if you're in that area, Brooklyn Brothers, go give them a visit.
Nice.
But yeah, Hector gave us his bottle, man. He gifted it to me for Christmas.
That's really nice of him, especially, sometimes I get bottles gifted to me and they're like, oh, I really thought of you with this bottle. And it's like
That's really nice.
They're really nice,
Yeah.
like a $25 bottle or something like that. But this is a nice bottle to give to somebody.
Honestly, I had no idea it was that expensive. So Hector, man, I do appreciate it. And, obviously I'll pay you back, obviously, in pours when you come back over again. Hector's been over once for pours. You need to come over again soon.
Very good. Awesome.
I'm excited about the rum finish.
Oh, yeah?
Because I like rum real well.
So do you like rum, like just in general, like as a standalone, or will you sip rum?
If it's a dark rum, I will sip it neat like I do bourbon.
Okay.
In smaller amounts and doses, though, because it's very sweet.
Okay, yeah.
And it kind of, after a while, it's
Heartburn.
just too sweet.
Yeah, too sweet.
Not necessarily heartburn.
I get
it's
heartburn.
just too sweet.
I get headaches.
Headaches from it, yeah.
Only time I really ever mix rum is if it's a white rum.
Yeah.
And then it's like white girl wasted.
I love it. Well, it's funny. I tried to sip rum too. Like when I got through my initial like bourbon phase, and when I say my initial phase, when I was really crazy into it, I was paying attention to a lot of the people that Kenny mentioned earlier, YouTubers, other people that are talking about like, oh, rum's the next big thing. And it's always been a big thing. You're just not trying it. And I probably bought about 4 or 5 sipping rums, and I think I ended up giving away 2 out. And the 3 that I kept, it took me years to drink them. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think I had, the last one was a 4 square that I think I brought over here and you guys got to try one night. It has
the
like
2005.
Yeah. That was the last rum that I had, and I haven't bought any more since. And so that was actually good. I enjoyed that. Mm-hmm. It had like a sugary, buttery popcorn kind of flavor to it.
I can taste the age on it.
Yeah.
It's a little older than I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll taste something like that. But let's talk about this bottle. This is the first time, I think, or maybe the second time in the history of my life that I'm getting a chance to try Old Elk of any type. But what do y'all think of this bottle?
I like the bottle. I like the cork from the design. It's Old Elk. So, at first I thought it was like a part of a tree cut off, but Shannon did make more sense. It looks like an actual antler from an elk.
Is that what it's supposed to be?
It's got to be, right? It looks like
That's
it now.
what it looks like to me, yeah.
It looks to me like the top of, you guys familiar with Guardians of the Galaxy? Mm-hmm. It looks like somebody took Groot's hair and cut Groot's top of his hair off and stuck it on there. To me, it kind of looks a little bit out of place. I mean, I know it goes with the brand, but I don't know. I got these weird things with bottles. That's why we talk about the bottle. I'm looking at this and I'm like, that's just odd. It just looks odd. I don't know why. Well,
the only Old Elk I've had was an Old Elk weeded store pick.
Okay.
That Ryan Lynch gifted us.
Oh, yeah.
And brought over. And I actually poured some of that earlier tonight just to revisit it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Pretty tasty, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when he came through. That was the first time he came through, and I remember tasting that. It was very good. So, other than that, I mean, pretty plain. You got your, it's got the autograph of Mr. Greg. Is it Metze? Is that how you pronounce that?
Sure.
Or Metze? I don't know. I probably should know. He was master distiller at MGP for 4 decades, apparently, before leaving and starting Old Elk. Did you guys know that?
I did, because I skimmed over your notes you texted earlier.
There you go.
I did not.
You did not. How dare you? And I'm just kidding. But that's cool that he has his little autograph on the front. I like that. I think it's a nice touch.
It's a clean label.
Yeah, very clean label. And then this style of bottle you don't see very much.
It's a good thick and heavy bottle,
yeah, it's
too,
a thick and heavy bottle, and I like
heavy.
that. Yeah, so presentation-wise, it's pretty nice. I wouldn't say that it stands out, though. It doesn't really... Does it stand out to you? Like, if you saw this on the store shelves, would it stand out to you?
I mean...
No.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Well, you're kind of used to look at the Weller bottles over there.
Right.
Look at some of the Bull Run bottles. I don't know if it stand out. A little...
Maybe a little bit. Okay.
Well, the thing...
It's a shorter bottle.
Well, the thing that stands out is you will automatically recognize, boom, that's Old Elk.
Right.
So now it does stand out from the standpoint of if you didn't even see the label, if you just saw this sitting up on the shelf and it was turned sideways, you can still tell that's Old Elk from the shape of the bottle,
right,
with that cork especially.
Right.
But only if you're familiar with it. If you're not familiar with it, you might gloss right over it.
Yeah.
Speaking of that cork, though.
Yeah.
The bottle that Lynch gave me, that cork shrunk up and was pretty loose in there. So although it is a nice topper on the cork itself, they need to make it a little bit larger diameter.
Listen to Mr. Positivity.
Mr. Positivity. You're really bringing it tonight.
Hey, man, you know.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I really don't know much about Old Elk. I told you this tonight will be the second time I'm trying anything. The only thing I know is, like a lot of other brands, their primary source of distillate is MGP, which makes sense because the guy did work for MGP.
And MGP is good.
And it's good stuff.
It's good.
I think they've also sourced from New York, and I do believe they might be distilling a little bit at their distillery. But the last thing I read said 95% of the distillate that they have.
And where's their distillery?
Fort Collins, Colorado, which I believe is just outside of Denver, like maybe an hour outside of Denver. So I've only been to Colorado once. Have either of you guys been up there?
If I have, it was on a flight stay over. I don't think I have.
I don't think I have.
Yeah. I actually like Colorado a lot. The one time that actually I've been there once through the airport and one stayed, but it's
I think my brother does too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
And your oldest son.
Yes, Eric does as well.
So is part of
the whole Mills Gamble clan is going to make an exit out there.
Colorado.
There you go. Call up Greg Metze and tell him that the whole Mills family is moving out there. Maybe you guys could work out there. No, I'm just kidding.
But man,
Old Elk.
Now that you say that, I think Lynch told me about him being at MGP forever, and that's who started that and all that. So it's
nice.
I'm sure it's going to be. I mean, so far, at least with this Old Elk pick that Lynch brought, I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
Don't care. The nose is kind of a weird latexy a little bit, but the palate's really good on it. So I'm really excited for this. Once I saw the mash bill on this, or the actual makeup of it, or everything, I'm excited, man.
So, am I wrong in assuming because the proof is decently high that they are aging at MGP, like they're sourcing and aging there and then bottling in Colorado?
I think they may have barrel lots that are sitting in Colorado that they're aging at. Okay. Yeah, they have. So, if you look, it's kind of confusing. They have this thing called the reserve, which they call like their bar experience, but it's also like their distillery. And so I couldn't really figure out. They're not advertising. They're not. You know how some companies they're like, we have a distillery, even though they're not distilling anything. They're not really advertising that. They're saying that we're the reserve, this bar, specialty cocktails, and everything else. But I've seen pictures of people like hanging out around the barrels, so they're storing barrels out there.
Well, okay, because I wondered what the climate and the altitude would do for their aging, because like when we've talked to the guys from Traverse City, their proof is always pretty low because they are cold. They don't get really warm summers. They have very short warm seasons.
Okay.
So their proof stays pretty low.
Okay.
This is 111.
Thinking it may be something along those same lines.
It might be. I mean, we always fall into these traps of talking about, what do we know the best? We know Kentucky the best, Indiana, Southern Ohio, Tennessee. Those are those are the places that we're most familiar with.
108 is pretty high for Traverse City, so maybe 111 is not so far off.
Okay.
I think a lot of that Traverse is around that 108 to 111. It was like the 118s, 119s was really high for them.
Very similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting nonetheless. And I mean, when you talk about finished whiskeys, I mean, do you guys have any general thoughts before we get into nosing this about finished products? Because I've gone back and forth. There was a point in time where I thought we were reaching like a saturation point. There was a point in time where I thought it was like the next big thing, that everything was going to be finished and that's what people are going to want. Now I'm just not quite sure. I mean, I don't know where I'm at with that, or if you all have any thoughts on it, because I'm a traditionalist sometimes. Other times I'm like, dang, like this finished product is amazing,
Yeah, I mean, I go back and forth like you a little bit, because I think we even brought it up on several episodes, like a long time ago, 2 or 3 months ago, where I said a lot of times you'll either finish to hide because you've got some juice that can't stand on its own,
right?
So let's finish it to try to make it unique. But then other times I'm like, man, I've had some premium stuff that's been finished that just adds that little extra flair, a little extra to it. So I don't know. I'm like you, I go back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it. I like experiments. I like, well, let's just see what we can do with this.
Right.
I really like rums that are finished in bourbon barrels.
Okay.
So I feel like I really like bourbons that are finished in rum. Sometimes they're too sweet. The Angel's Envy rum finish is too sweet.
Okay.
For me.
Syrupy, pancake syrup.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you said Angel's Envy, they released a cask strength rye this year that's supposed to be really good.
Everybody says it's good, but what freaking everybody also said, We'll leave it at that.
Mr.
New Year's resolution.
Mr. Skeptical.
New Year's resolution.
Your New Year's resolution makes more work for Anthony.
Man, it's just
There you go.
everything's good.
Thank you,
right?
Shannon.
Oh, you gotta try this new one. It's blah, blah, blah. Let me try it first, and then.
Well, yeah,
see.
no, I
I'm
agree
even
with you.
blind at first, honestly.
Right. No, I hear you, but I just had to mention that because you talked about Angel's Envy, but they do
I heard
have
it was
some
good,
very
though.
sweet products.
Yeah,
that
I've heard
finished,
from a few people that the new cask strength is good.
But a lot of times that's a good bridge for people who maybe are not so much into bourbon. Maybe you need something a little sweeter to
Right.
be a good introduction for you. I'm not crazy about wine. Some wine finishes I really enjoy. Some are very pungent,
Right.
And I can't get on board with it. But maybe that's a good bridge for someone who has a palate for that to come into the bourbon.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great thing. So let's let's get to nosing here. Now, Shannon, I've heard great things. No, I've sipped with you before, and I know that you do have a very sensitive nose. So I'm kind of looking forward to hearing to what you say, because Kenny told me sometimes he can't get those descriptors like you do. He always gives you mad props on your sensory.
Yeah, man, I'm getting fruit forward, and I can definitely. I think it's a sauternes. I can kind of nose a little bit, right?
You know what I was about to say? The sauternes is very strong.
Yes,
in this
it is.
because I've had a Starlight sauterne finished bourbon,
And you can just.
and it was good. I liked it, but it was very fruity, and this has a lot of fruit notes.
It does. So rum, port, sherry, and sauternes. I think it's the sauternes I'm smelling though.
That's what's coming through to me, but this is all new territory because I think other than a sample, I'm trying to remember who gave me a sample. What was the one? It was a barrel that did like something finished in 19 different things. Barrel Craft Spirits did something that was very finished.
They need to.
he's so negative.
I'm
this
trying,
evening.
man. I'm
he's
sorry.
trying so hard.
I don't think you are trying.
Yeah.
I think you're lying.
I think it was seagrass. Wasn't seagrass finished in a lot of different things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think which sauternes I had. It might have been the one like you're talking about. It might have been a Starlight.
Yeah, Starlight had some. I thought they were good, personally.
Man, I would like to sip this if that's all right. What do you
Yeah,
think?
absolutely.
Then we go in for
I
that?
didn't get any nosing from Shannon other than what do you got
Well,
here?
I do
That's true.
not.
I'll wait.
I don't get the fruit like you guys are getting.
Okay.
We don't know the rye content on this, actually, do we? Because I'm getting more rye coming
Well,
through.
The spice.
I'm
There's the spice.
assuming their rye is a 95.5. I don't know. I didn't see that.
Okay.
And then they have they're calling it a high rye. No, it's actually, no, it's a high malt bourbon, not a high rye bourbon. But there is rye in here. But I'm assuming it's a 95.5. I'll try to find that out.
So I get more predominantly a rye note.
Yeah,
You
like
know.
a spice.
Yes. Also, and then under that is what I describe. It's sugary, it's sweet, but it's like a black tar
Yeah,
type.
Okay.
And I get that on rum a lot. I do get it on bourbon too.
like a burnt sugar.
No, it's like black top.
Black top.
Like
Black top.
tar. Like, yeah, just like a top note smell.
It is 95.5.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then as I'm nosing, it's very cool and
So like menthol.
like but I don't smell it. I just feel it.
Interesting, yeah.
Like a peppermint. Like if you were to sniff peppermint.
No, that's really interesting. I like that.
It's just the feeling on the back of my throat, but not. I don't get the aroma of peppermint at all.
Okay, great. No, I mean usually we try to talk a little bit, but I do want to taste this because it's like, yeah.
But hearing her talk about it is way better than hearing me or you talk about it. So I had to wait. I haven't sipped yet.
All right. Well, here we go.
We
Let's
ready?
go for some sips.
All right, here we
Yeah,
go.
for sure.
Down the hatch.
That's not what I thought it was going to taste like. How about you? Jeez.
I don't taste any finish from anything.
The it's not. It's very well blended, I would say.
Yeah.
It's almost produced like a holy cow. Is that like a I'm going to uncharted territory here, guys. Very uncharted territory. Like
It's very peppery in the middle of my tongue.
Yep.
Like the feeling.
Okay, new one for me. The fruits to me are like what's okay, this is going to sound like it doesn't taste good because nobody would want this, but like a cantaloupe or a honeydew that's not ripe yet. Does that make any sense? Getting some kind of like a note that's melon-esque.
No, a melon. That's it. No, that's it. Good.
I get the spice.
I get spice. I get the melon and the sweet on the front. Then I get that peppery spice on, like you said, the middle of my tongue in the middle. And so the finish for me is so the finish is coming off more of your just traditional brown sugar, caramel, on the very end, but that front is a very melony sweet,
like fruit,
but it's not it's not an apple, not a pear, blah blah. Yeah. More of a melon. Yeah.
My lips are getting greasy and sticky.
Okay, from the sweetness.
I don't. It's not very sweet.
It's not sweet to you.
No.
This is wild.
It is still very rye.
I get what you're saying because it does move very quickly from sweet to like spicy to then almost like what Kenny was mentioning to like finishing almost like more like a traditional bourbon, which is the opposite of what you think would happen with a finished product. Usually the finished product at the end, you're going, I taste all the finish at the end.
Right.
This is like, to me, the finish is up front, which is weird. That's very weird.
On this second sip, I did get more, instead of melon on the front, I got more rye on the front, like you said. I'll go for a third sip and see where it hits me at.
There you go.
Because it could just be a mental thing. I was thinking melon.
The table talk.
Tasted melon. I was thinking rye. Tasted rye. But that's why we blind, man. That's why we blind.
That's why we blind, right?
Double blinds. Go for a third sip and see what happens.
This is reminding me, though, while you guys are sipping, it's reminding me a little bit of like when I had the barrel seagrass, which had a whole bunch of different finishes to it. I think it was like.
So
I get them both.
I'm many more sips deep than you guys are.
Okay.
And now my tongue's getting numb.
Okay.
So I guess there is a numbing something in there. I don't know if it's clove. I don't know what it is, but
the very, very, very front initial for me is the melon, transitions over to the rye, and then third step is that peppery on my tongue tingle.
Yeah.
So I really melon in like the very front. I'm talking literally 3/4 of a second, just melon, boom, and then it transitions over to rye.
Right.
And then peppery, and then the finish. It's weird why it finishes more like bourbony, brown sugar caramel to me on the very end.
Yeah. I mean, that's maybe a nice marriage of the sweetness of all the different finishes that produces.
Old Greg knows what he's doing, don't he?
I would think so. Dang. Man. I guess when you have that many years of experience, that's something that's to be appreciated.
Man, interesting.
So as we're sipping here, I have to pivot and ask both of you, because I am not fitting this category. I've mentioned it before on the podcast, but this is called Cigar Cut Island Blend. Okay. Is this supposed to be made for people who are going to smoke a cigar? Are we doing it wrong here? Are we supposed to be smoking a cigar right now, or we're having this? Or what are your thoughts on smoking and sipping? Because here's my limited history with smoking. When I turned, bar age, casual smoker at the bar with cigarettes, just because it was a cool thing to do. That didn't last very long. But I can always remember that terrible, oh my God, my nose feels a certain way, my mouth feels a certain way the next day, and I'm like, I don't want to feel like that again, right? It's almost like I should not have had that smoke, you know what I mean? Same way with cigars. Like I remember casually having a cigar with friends and stuff like that, and with alcohol, for some reason, it just messes me up. Like I just don't appreciate it the way that some people can say, like, oh, I'm going to light a cigar and have a pour. And so I don't know if y'all have experience with that.
If I were to have a cigar with a pour, I wouldn't be able to taste the bourbon pour anymore, because the cigar would be the predominant.
That's what I don't get. Yeah. But this is.
I love how a cigar smells.
Right.
I like when other people around me. But if I were to drink with it, I couldn't drink. I could only smoke.
Well, I mean, obviously Alves, but tons of other people, cigar and bourbon go hand in hand.
Oh, absolutely.
Jake Cigar Bar, just
exactly.
But for me, I don't know if it's just because I don't smoke cigars very often,
right?
But to me, it just totally kills my bourbon palate. But it might just be, maybe it might be one of those things where once you smoked your 50th, your 70th cigar, then the bourbon is there for you as well. But I know when we've gone outside before and smoked cigars, after we'll sip for a while, then they'll go smoke a cigar and stuff. There are specific pours that Alves and Jordan and them will say, okay, hey, I'm gonna take this. This will pair better, with my cigar. A lot of stuff, maybe more if it's more leathery, I believe maybe that's what goes better. But and this one's different because we've had
got some aerating going on.
There was something that I was hoping to find, and I didn't.
Okay.
So
we've had the Buzzard Drew cigar bourbon or cigar black batch. Is that what it was? Cigar.
Yeah, I think it was cigar rye actually.
And this is different. This is not that at all.
No.
Theirs is that because how they toast the barrels or smoke the barrels
with tobacco.
With tobacco.
Yeah.
This is not that at all. This is just made so. This is not to be confused when you see a Buzzard's Roost and you see Starlight and some other ones that have a cigar blend, those are actually smoking the barrels with cigar tobacco type leaves. This is not that at all. They even say as plain as day on their website, this is not that at all. This is just supposed to pair well with cigars.
Even though we were talking about the bottle, I didn't. The print on this is how small. It's like 6-point font. It's so small that I actually had to get real close to my eyes to be able to read it.
Take a picture and then expand it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I know I'm getting old. It says the final taste profile is lighter in style, a touch tropical, so that's where the melon's going from, and it says transports us to our favorite summer getaway. Excellent paired with your favorite cigar or standalone as your new favorite nightcap. So on their marketing on the bottle, they're saying pair it with a cigar or maybe have it like as your last drink kind of thing, right? Maybe they're not sipping like we are sometimes, but saying your standalone is your nightcap. So they're not saying that you only have to have it with cigar, even though they're calling it Island Blend Cigar Cut. So
I was hoping, being an Island Blend, that it would have tobacco.
Okay.
That it would have maybe brown sugar or sugar cane.
Right.
I was hoping that it would be more in that vein.
I bet the sherry and port took some of that away.
Yeah, probably.
And then so I aerated it a little, hoping I could find some of the things that I'm looking for.
Right.
And I barely got a hint of fruit. I did not get melon. It was just barely a hint of fruit and almost like just an essence, like not even fleeting.
It
was
away.
very fleeting. Yeah.
I gotcha.
So that's the thing. Like it's got at least four. It's got 4 stages at least for me though.
Right.
It really does. So that's, and me, I'm a finish guy.
Right. You like to
So this
flavor.
has got my interest because it's 4 different. I'm tasting at least 4 different things throughout the process.
Right.
So it really is a super sweet melony up front, but within a second or so, it transitions to that rye. Then I get that peppery bounce on my tongue, and then it just finishes more like traditional bourbon. And that's.
But I don't think you would consider this what you often call things like a flavor ride.
You don't.
It isn't the up and down roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like steady, but it's changing steadily as it goes. It's not bringing me up and down and left and right.
Right.
But it's a steady change. So, it's interesting.
And I can pay a compliment here and say that nothing that I'm tasting is offensive. So you know how sometimes we talk about, ethanol punches you in the face, or a predominant flavor, or like a finish turns like off, like it turns like to, I always jokingly say sometimes a finish turns to drywall, right? It's like all of a sudden it just falls off and you're like, what the hell happened there? Like, and you're left with this flavor in your mouth. What I'm left with after sipping this a little bit and actually going in for my second pour here is nothing offensive. It's actually a pleasant flavor.
I agree,
There's
but I think it's misleading saying that it's what's this island
blend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's misleading.
Well, I think we'd really, to appreciate whatever that means, is they're talking about extending summer, but since they have an original cigar cut that they did that's less finished than this, I think we'd almost have to like look at that first one and then looking at this to see what they were going for almost, right?
Yeah, the regular cigar is also with cognac.
Yeah, cognac and Armagnac, and it seems to have heavier stuff.
Yeah, Armagnac cognac.
So maybe that's the one that you were looking for when you think of cigar cut. Maybe they should have called this. Maybe they should have called this something else, right? Instead of cigar cut.
For me, doesn't have any of the things that it says it has.
Okay,
but it's it comes across very high rye. I like rye, so I'm not disappointed or offended about that. I enjoy it.
Right.
I just feel like it's misrepresented.
Okay. No, that's actually important because when you're marketing something, right, and you're trying to tell people what to expect, when you think about how maybe they shouldn't have called it Island.
Well, it says high malt bourbon.
Right.
Not a high rye bourbon.
But they have rye in there.
The rye comes through.
So it's 6-year high malt bourbon, then it's 6-year rye.
Right.
Then it's 6-year wheat.
Right.
Man, that's interesting.
It is, yeah.
But I don't get any of the wine finishes. Not on the nose. It doesn't come through on the palate. I don't get the rum. But really, I just feel like it's just misrepresented.
I feel like maybe the Sauterne is driving a lot of the flavors, the fruity flavors. Maybe that's it.
But I think if you forget what the label says, what it's supposed to be,
yep,
and you just drink it for what it is, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we both
that's
agree.
the thing.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
Anthony and I agreed on that.
Yep.
So maybe if you just take it for what it is, it's good. But it definitely doesn't taste like some of the stuff that's on there, I don't think. But yeah, it's actually good. I like it. I just aerated mine too for a little bit.
Did it make any big differences? The old aerator.
Not really.
I would think you got something that's that
After aeration, it's
Yeah.
to me a hair bit sweeter.
Okay.
And I get a little bit more of the rye coming through.
Okay.
So after aeration, a little bit more rye comes through and a little bit sweeter.
Well, wait till you light up a cigar.
Boom.
Yeah, we're going to start doing that here in a second. I'm
Did
just
that
kidding.
once in the basement.
Don't do it on the inside.
Did not turn out well.
I said, hey, we can do that on the inside. Ryan's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, are you sure? After his 17th time of saying, are you sure? He went ahead and lit up. And after like 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, crap, let's go outside. This isn't good.
I came home from work the next 3 days.
Oh,
and
my
it smelled
God.
like stale cigar in the house.
That is hilarious. You're like, it sounds like a good idea.
It sounds like a good idea.
It's
like,
almost
no big
it's
deal.
almost like I remember when I had a new car and they were like, can I smoke? The first person said, can I smoke in your car? And I'm like, well, if I put the windows down, it won't be that bad. I'm like, why do they let them do that?
Right.
You know? So no, damn right. Well, I think it's funny. I have to tell one more quick cigar story before we get to pass try by here. So on your birthday, I'm not sure if we ever talked about that on the mashup or not, but Kenny's past birthday this past year, I was in attendance and
I got an amazing gift from you.
yeah, I got an
Sitting right
amazing
there.
gift. Yeah, the action figure,
Surrounded
the
by Russell's picks.
custom action figure that I created for Kenny. And then we were all having great pours and having a good time. Then somebody, maybe it was, who was it? Who said, let's go smoke a cigar?
Alves, I'm
Was it
sure.
Alves?
Yeah, because he wanted to smoke with Kenny's mom.
Oh, is that what it was? I
Yeah.
don't. All I know is Caleb out on the
Bro.
I don't want to throw Caleb under the bus here, but Caleb, I remember thinking to myself, knowing what I just told you guys about cigars and my reaction to alcohol and tobacco, I was like, no. He's like, are you sure? And I'm like, no, I don't care if it's your birthday.
Yeah.
I'm inside. I'm not smoking a cigar. And everybody that went outside to smoke a cigar that hadn't been smoking cigars was like,
Dude, I buzzed so hard from that cigar.
oh my God, I was watching it
Not as hard as
unfold.
Caleb was.
Oh my God, that was
I
amazing.
buzzed really hard off the cigar.
Yeah. Well, on that note of cigars and unfortunate happenings, so Kenny and Shannon, would you pass, try, or buy on this bottle of Old Elk Cigar Cut Island Blend?
I'd be a try for sure, but at that price point, I wouldn't want to buy.
And so, since you said the price point is the driver of your possibly not buying, I know because you're married to this man over here that bourbon prices, are just through the roof, even at retail. They're
Right.
they're very expensive, and so I guess just wanted to throw that in there since you were automatically.
Well,
if you had any other,
But also, I don't believe price dictates quality.
okay,
I think that there are very inexpensive bourbons that I think are very tasty and very delicious.
love that.
So what did we say this was? 130?
130, I believe.
130.
Yeah. For me, I would take a $30 Evan Williams
Okay,
over this
okay,
and be just as happy.
that's fair. That's fair. And Kenny, do you want to go next? Or do you want me to jump in here?
Can you jump in? Because I am having one more pour before I decide.
Sure. So here's what I'm going to say about it. I'm kind of with Shannon on this, that I'm a solid try. And the reason I'm a solid try and I'm not quite ready to say buy is partially because of the price, but also because I just don't know after having this limited amount whether I really like it enough to want to go buy it.
I agree.
But here's the thing I will say about it. I appreciate what effort had to go into making this. And so there's other $130 whiskeys where somebody just sourced a 12-year-old bourbon from a Kentucky distillery and they slapped a $130 price tag on it. This with, Greg's name on it, with the Old Elk, the traditions that they're building there, and the fact that this is 3 different bourbons finished, 6 years old and then finished an extra 2 years to get this flavor to be appreciated. You know what I mean? Certainly appreciate it, especially saying, okay, $130. I'm sure there's some companies that would charge $200 or more for this and say, look at all the effort that went into this,
I appreciate, just like your review said,
Right.
I appreciate the friendship, the camaraderie, and the generosity of Hector for leaving the bottle here more than anything. That gesture
Right.
covers a whole lot of sin in the bottle.
Oh, yeah.
No. And this bottle's not bad. I'm not saying that at all. It is just, I feel like it's not what it was represented as.
No. I'm 100% in agreement. I do think, and even with that, it's a heck of a gift. I mean, the fact that we could taste this tonight and Also, the fact that it was gifted to you, Kenny, that's it's super solid. Yeah, but I'm still a try.
All right, so I went in for one last pour of this, and then now I just poured me something else to kind of compare it to, so that way I'm trying to because I'm at a point of try or buy, and I'm trying to figure out which one I am.
Okay.
So I'm at a try or a buy.
That's hilarious.
See, it doesn't matter what I say because he'll do what he wants to do, and if it's buy, we're buying anyway.
Well, you get to tag along, you know.
Now we're into the marriage part of the mashup. No, that's really that's funny though, because the fact that you said you're going back.
If I wanted to buy, then we would buy. It goes both ways. I know.
Yeah. I was going to say it's not like
if you want it, you know you're going to get it.
Yeah.
This is the most I've seen you toil over any of your past try or buys.
Man, because traditional bourbons, brown sugar, caramel, you know, just kind of where you at. And it's like, and it also depends on how you drink. So like, I go to some friends' houses and they pour 2 to 3 fingers thick. Right. And they'll sip on that. When that gets down, they'll pour 2 to 3 more fingers and sip.
Right.
I don't do that.
Yeah, you try to spread it out.
You know,
small amounts. Yeah.
I'm half ounce. I'm quarter ounce, half ounce of 20 different things.
Right. Exactly.
I like that, and this one has me intrigued because I do like where the front, then the next. I mean, it's 4 different stages on it. I do like that, and for me, it's like, would I buy it because I want to have that to where I will like to pour a half ounce of that and then enjoy it more often? Or am I like, once I have it once, I'm good because I don't want, it was cool, but I'll revisit it. So that's where I'm at right now. So I'm going to go in for one last sip and see here.
Okay.
Well, I'm 2 or 3 pours deep in it already, but on somebody else's dime, and that's okay with me.
That should be a new part of it. Like, if the bottle is gifted to you, would you pass, try, or buy? No, I'll take it every time.
So much better.
Pass, try, buy, or gift.
I mean, it's 111 proof with no ethanol pop, though.
No, it really has no ethanol.
So how many which I guess it was finished, though, for 2 years, 8 months and 6 months and 2 years. Yeah. So it's 111 proof with no ethanol pop, though. Gosh.
It's been appropriately
can I be a Tri
out.
Plus?
Yeah.
I don't know. Can I be a Tri Plus?
You can, yeah. I do that all the time. I straddle the fence.
Yeah, I am definitely between a try and a buy. It's that's a tough one, man, to be honest with you.
Well, once you approach that price tag, I think this is the new normal. You know how you talked about $70? I think $100 is the new normal.
100 is the new.
And it's just slightly above that new normal. And I don't know. I think maybe you got to smoke a cigar to appreciate it more.
But I think for some of your listeners, $100 is unattainable.
Absolutely it is.
And
that's the majority of the people probably.
I think that there are other pours that will be as enjoyable or better for cheaper. Like nothing on this stands out other than the rye. I think you can find ryes for way cheaper.
Okay. Yep. I just poured Elijah Craig barrel proof.
A C923?
No, that one sucks. ROC923.
Oh my gosh.
No, that one's good.
That was great.
I poured B523.
Okay, the goat,
which is actually better.
It's very good.
Better than C923. But anyway, after drinking that, I am a try. I'm not a try plus.
Okay,
I'm a try.
Yeah.
So I would say if you can get this out somewhere, I would try it.
Yep.
$130, I would not buy. I'm a try.
Okay.
So it's very good. It's very good.
Yeah.
But it would be like way better if it was $80, $90.
I agree with you. And the one thing I will say is when it comes to any kind of finished whiskey to kind of, bring us together, this is how I always feel when I'm trying something that's finished. Go back to the RD1 episode that we had where I talked about how much I really enjoy that Amburana. And I still enjoy it. Mm-hmm. But it's not a pour I could go to every night.
Right.
It's not even a pour I can go to every week. It's a pour that I can have probably every month to remind myself that I like it, but also not something that I'm going to be like, man, I want to revisit that a whole bunch. And I feel like that not just about RD1 Amburana because it's solid. I feel like that about a lot of finished products. That I just can't see myself revisiting them enough to want to buy them that much. I don't know.
And that's the thing. Go ahead, babe.
What is the Michter's up there that is so tobacco and creamy? It's so rich.
Michter's Toasted Barrel Strength Rye.
Yes, that one is fabulous.
Oh.
But in small doses, it is so rich.
Yes. You can't do a big pour.
I can't do a
big pour.
It's decadent.
Yeah. Yes.
I've sacked away a couple.
So that's
of those.
kind of where I'm at with this. Is I bet there's some $80 bottles out there
right.
that are finished and other stuff that are going to pick up some of the same characteristics of this finished.
But I think that's unfair to say because this does not feel finished.
But I do enjoy this from the standpoint of you don't get the graininess off a younger bourbon.
Oh, absolutely.
And you don't get the ethanol pop.
Right.
But if it was 99 even instead of 130, I'd be a buy.
Okay.
But at 130, I am a try. I'm a buy at 99. I'm a try at 129.
There you go.
That's my officials. I'm a try.
I think I would rather try other Old Elk.
Okay.
Because they might be worth the $130.
Okay.
But this one, I feel like it's.
Dude, I'm going back.
It's a try.
So Andrew Hatfield.
Yep.
Of Liquor Barn.
There you go. Give them a shout out.
Liquor Barn.
We like
shout
Liquor
out.
Barn.
Much better than the Total Wines. Piece of crap.
Total Wine.
I'm on a rant, right? Should we just roll with it?
Yeah. WHINE wine.
Don't get barned.
Don't get barned.
Screw y'all. Total
there you
wine.
go.
But anyway, so recently Liquor Barn had an Old Elk. It was, I think, an 8-year wheated bourbon, maybe, and then a 10-year wheated whiskey.
Finished in a sugar cookie barrel.
Dude, that wheated, the wheated whiskey, which was like 95% wheat.
Yeah,
that wheated whiskey was actually fire, dude.
Oh, okay.
It was I think, a 10-year. It was very good.
All
so
right.
shout out to Brad that does a lot of their picks. I guess most all their picks. Yeah,
B. Williams.
B. Rad.
Very good. Yeah.
Speaking of him, I messaged him on Facebook, and he's left me on unread for a long time now.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. So Brad, hurts my feelings.
If you listen, send Kenny a message back because we don't want him to go all crazy on you.
Yeah, hurts my feelings.
And with that, thanks for listening to this week's edition. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mashup KY.
Don't forget to visit our partner, bourbonoutfitter.com. Enter code The Mashup for a special discount.
Also, let us know your thoughts on this bottle in the comment section. Until next time, keep it neat.